What's going on, everybody? So, if this update of USC, Duke, and stuff is a little bit out of order, and I'll explain it later. But when it comes to the USC defense, yes, they jumped up quite a bit from last year comparing to where they ended last season. When it comes to their placing, they're like 86 places above last year in scoring defense and 51 places above in their total defense. I think last year at this time, they're ranked number 121 out of like 130 something teams in Division One college football, and they had given up over 34 points. Now they're the number 32 ranked defense and only given up about 21 points. So, I mean, nobody knew of D'Anton Lynn before this, so it's like everybody says if you would have gotten him last year, well, maybe Lincoln Riley wouldn't have been looking at him last year. That's why he only had his first season as a defensive coordinator at UCLA last year. So it's like, who knows if he lets go of Grinch before last season and Caleb's last year, if it really makes a difference. But when it comes to USC, they always miss out because whenever it's a really good offense or defensive player that gets drafted very high, the next season they always fall a little bit short. But if that player would have stayed around, which they usually could have, they usually leave like by their third year. But if they stayed for their senior year, it probably would have helped out those deficiencies because last year their defense was really bad, but their offense was still scoring really good. This year the defense is really good, but the offense isn't scoring for some reason. So either way, it's a pretty complex thing, but hopefully they'll be able to get it going next season. Then when it came to a couple of guys flipping pretty recently, that one running back, Dwayne Morris, flipped to his hometown team in Tennessee, and then also that linebacker Ty Jackson is staying home as well in Florida, going to the University of Florida. Like I mentioned before previously, every time USC has lost a commitment at that certain position, they've always kind of upgraded. I know they're trying to get that local four-star linebacker in Madden Far-Emu, who's pretty close to USC actually. And I think his decision-making is going to be coming down to USC and Notre Dame, and he's actually going to be at the game this weekend when they play against Notre Dame. So pretty much, I'm assuming whoever wins that game, he's going to decide where to go. So hopefully USC does win the game, and then they could win on the recruiting trail as well. When it comes to running backs, I know they are really trying to get and flip the UCLA four-star running back in Carson Cox, who had committed to UCLA a couple months back, but he is going to be at the game as well this weekend, so hopefully that's the same case where because Morris was only a 3-star, Cox is a 4-star, so that's an upgrade. Ty Jackson is a 4-star as well, but Far-Emo is a higher 4-star player ranked, so once again, they're flipping these guys to get better guys, but I don't know why it's taking this long for them to do that, but hopefully it does come true in the next couple of weeks. And a 4-star guard in the 2025 class, Jerry Easter, did commit to USC basketball the other day, which is really cool. I think he's from the state of Ohio, so they're able to steal away a player from Ohio State country. So that's always a good victory on the recruiting trail. When it came to the PFF Team of the Week, they did have a couple guys from both my teams. They had Eli Panko, the wide receiver from Duke, and also the right guard, offensive lineman Alani Noah from USC made the full, like all of college, all those conferences put together, PFF's team. So congrats to those guys. That's some pretty big honors there. And then they had PFF did a highest graded Power 4 Week 13 2 freshman overall, and Cameron Fountain, the defensive end for USC, was like in the middle of that pack with like an 85 grade or whatever that means when it comes to PFF and their analytics. But you have some talent. He is getting some more playing time down the stretch, and he's looking very good. So USC's future is looking bright, at least on the defensive line side. And it looks like USC might be in the running to land one of the top 5-star defensive linemen that is still uncommitted in the 2025 class in Jahkeem Stewart, because a guy from Rivals and Sam Spiegelman, I believe it is, he put an early prediction that USC was going to land Stewart the other day, and then Steve Wiltfong, you always hear me talk about him when it comes to recruiting, from On3 recently put a prediction for USC for him, and then I believe Tom Loy from 247 Sports, who's their main recruiting guy too, recently did as well. So it's looking good so far. I don't know what else they got to do. Like, it's not like the Far-Emo situation this weekend where they have to beat Notre Dame. I think they put up enough money for him NIL wise, and he's liking what he's seeing, and at least the coaching staff too, with Coach Henderson be coaching him as well. So hoping that's all he needs, and he will be signing the dotted line when it comes to the early signing period the next couple of weeks. And then that 4-star, well, now he's a 4-star, at least according to Rivals, the offensive lineman Elijah Vicona. He was a 3-star in most places, but yeah, Rivals has now put him as a 4-star, and hopefully the On3 and 247 will follow suit, because he is one of the more talented offensive linemen with a lot of high upside, especially he's like 6'7", 6'8", so definitely a lot of high upside when it comes to the more local guys in California. So hopefully that will also help out USC's rankings at this point, because I believe they're like right now the number 14 team in the nation when it comes to recruiting for On3, so hoping to get at least into the top 10. I'm going to go through some of the rest of this USC update real quick. So there is a 4-star defensive tackle and Christian Ingram who set up an official visit for USC on November 30th, so he will be there this weekend as well. And it's kind of interesting just because a lot of people were still predicting the other top defensive lineman to go to USC and Jahkeem Stewart, so I kind of thought, well, if he was going, then nobody else would want to join, but it is a different position on the defensive line, so I guess it still makes sense, and if they're able to get another talented guy, they might as well. I just hope it doesn't end up pushing out Gus Cordova, who's been committed to the team for a while, and also Floyd Boucard, who recently flipped from Oklahoma to USC in like the past month or so. He's a very talented guy too, so hoping those two guys end up staying, and maybe they can still get this 4-star talented defensive tackle as well. And then there's the Ray Guy finalists have named Eddie Chaplitsky of USC as one of their guys. There's some saying he might not get it because he hasn't, kicked a certain number of punts and stuff, but he's been one of the more productive guys, and the way he's doing stuff, he's probably going to get drafted pretty high. I've seen some punters get drafted like in the 4th round. I would not be surprised if that's him in this next year's draft. So it sucks that they won't get to keep him around for next season and maybe a little bit after that, but he will be a high draft pick, especially when it comes to punters, in my opinion. Then Emmanuel Prengyong was recently invited and accepted the invitation to the East-West Shrine Bowl. So yeah, a little bit of a lower thing compared to the Reese Senior Bowl, but still, nonetheless, you get in front of the camera, in front of scouts, and all those people recruiting you to the NFL, so it never hurts, right? And then PFF did also do like the highest graded centers for Week 13 in the Power 4, and Jonah Monheim was like the 2nd ranked guy at 78.4% or points, whatever it is, like I said, with their analytics. So that's pretty good, especially against one of the tougher defensive teams as of late right now in UCLA. So he did his job, which was cool. And then there was now I guess there's a professional draft when it comes to women's volleyball. There's a professional league, which is pretty cool, and 2 players from USC were selected. Allie Battenhorst, who was a transfer who played 1 year at USC, she got selected at round 2. Pick number 7 to the Omaha Supernovas, and then Mia Tuaniga was drafted in the 4th round, pick number 3 to, I want to say it's the Atlanta Vibe, is what they're calling it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Congrats to them, and they'll be able to continue their professional careers, get paid for it too. So yeah, that's great. Congrats to those ladies. And then to end this video off, yes, the USC women's were playing against Seton Hall out there, like in Palm Springs, I believe, and they just recently beat them 84-51. So yes, a nice bounce back from that Notre Dame loss this last weekend. Hopefully they can still keep it up. And then, yeah, Juju Watkins apparently is the new neighbor when it comes to those Jake from State Farm commercials. So hopefully she'll be in there. I know she's in some of the marketing online, but hopefully she'll be in some of the commercials. That's pretty cool. It's just nice exposure for the USC women's basketball program, and hopefully we'll get some more talented women there when it comes to NIL stuff in the future to USC basketball. So yeah, looking forward to that. And I did catch up with her the first 2 episodes of that docu-series that she has on Peacock. I know it came out before the game last Saturday, but was able to catch up first 2 episodes, and it's pretty good. I'm surprised they have been filming her since like right before her senior year or something like that. So that kind of just ended after the first 2 episodes, and now she's going to be going to USC in the 3rd one, hopefully. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. definitely a good check out if you're into sports and stuff and behind the scenes and all that. So yeah, definitely will be continuing to watch that. Yes, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Fight on.